Let me put this session on recording. Okay, now this is on recording, and so yesterday basically we started with what makes the text structure. Okay, so the text structure depends on two things. One is cohesion and the other is coherence, right? Now the cohesion is the grammatical and, strictly speaking, the syntactic part of the text, right? And it refers to the grammatical links. Okay, so cohesion basically is a means. Okay, it's a linguistic means through which the text um, keeps a good structure, grammatically speaking. Okay, and it is used to show that the text has a structure that goes beyond the clause. So when we talk about syntax, we talk about sentence and then sentence structures and then clauses. But cohesion is more than that, right? In cohesion, we are looking at grammatical links beyond clauses, and we are looking at these links throughout the text. Okay, so I just cannot like take one or two sentences in order to teach you cohesion. If we are learning about cohesion, we have to look at the whole text. Okay, but one thing for sure, that cohesion is related to the structure of the text. Okay, now how cohesion is provided in the text by the writers, authors, or maybe the speakers is provided in the text and to talk through some of the devices which are called as cohesive devices. Okay, so we have been doing these cohesive devices and we did few yesterday. We would be talking more on this today also, and that then we will move to coherence, which is the other part of text structure and which is related to the logical links. Okay, and inconsistency of ideas, let's put it this way, right? So coherence is basically the logical links and consistency in the ideas. Okay, let me add few of your class fellows, and let me fix few things here on my end also. Now this has to be okay, right? So we talked about a number of cohesive devices in which we talked about, um, subordinating conjunctions, which tells you about cause and effect, and the word that we usually use to show that there is starting of subordinating conjunction or there's a presence of subordinating conjunctions through because. Okay. Other than that, we talked about the coordinating conjunction, which is through several words. One of them is and. Okay, that means that we are, coordinating two clauses. More importantly, we talked about references. These are called as pronominal references. These are related to the pronouns and much more like the anaphora. Okay, so when we talk about references within a text and references as cohesive devices and pronominal references, so we come across two kinds of references, basically the anaphora and the cataphora. Anaphora is the backward references, whereas cataphora are the forward references, and we have done examples related to that. Other than that, We talked about, ellipses also, where we omit the words. We are going to practice ellipses today, and would see how different writers use ellipses stylistically. And we would try to see that what are the stylistic effects of ellipses, whether it hinders the reader's comprehension or it actually improves the text. Okay, so we'll be practicing ellipses today. We gave enough examples of ellipses yesterday. Then I ask you to find examples for substitution. Okay, now the difference between substitution and ellipses is that in ellipses you omit, okay, you leave a word or a number of words with the assumption that the reader or the listener would understand without your actually saying it. And in writing, people use ellipses in order to avoid repetition. Okay. The simplest example in daily conversation, if I give you of ellipses, and I've already given you, when we talk about, just hold on. When, you are in conversation and you ask someone, where's the library? Okay. So they don't reply completely. The library is near the gym. Okay. They would say near the gym. Right. So what happened here is the library is, it's understood that you have asked about the library. So the location near the gym, uh, perhaps and probably the chances are that it's the location of the library because you asked about the library. And the simplest example of ellipses in conversation, other than that, I have given you examples and you have given me ample examples related um, to the sentences. Other than that, in conversations, when we ask each other, how are you? We don't say usually, I'm fine. We just say fine. Okay, fine, thank you. So that's understood that you're telling about yourself, that you are fine. You don't say it that I am fine, but the assumption is that the speaker would interpret that you're telling about your own health, right? So um, now, why I'm giving you examples from daily conversation, just to tell you that ellipsis is more in speech than in writing. Okay. So that's why, because, when we are conversing, we already know what the speaker level of knowledge is. Okay. And how would he or she interpret, right? Because we are in conversation at that point in time. But as far as the text are concerned, people, authors, writers make use of ellipses, but to a lesser extent. Okay. Because texts are usually more explicit. Texts are mostly more elaborate. Okay, so anything that is elaborated, that has to be explicit. The chances are that the authors would omit lesser words, lesser structures. Okay, so we did enough examples of ellipses, right? Other than that, I told you might not be the focus in this chapter, but one of a good cohesive device is substitution. Okay, and I have given you an example as soon as Maze put a question in the chat. She wanted to know about what other words can be used instead of one. One is quite common. Okay, when we use one, that is, we are substituting something with word one. So I answered, I'll be talking about the same. Okay. So same means I'll also be talking about substitution, right? So I have not omitted anything, but I have actually substituted same with whatever she asked. Okay. Another example, if I give you for words that might be used for substitution, is either. Okay. Both the pairs are nice and either would go well with your looks. Okay. So either means any of the two pair of shoes that I have talked about. Either you can wear either. Either means any of these, right? So instead of repeating the pair, I said either. Okay, both the pairs are nice and either would go well with your look. Okay, and then I want to visit university, but she does not like it there. Okay, so she does not like it there. There is a substitute for the university. She wants that dress, but I don't like the same. Okay, same is substitute to the dress, right? In conversation, if I say I want to place an order and you say yes, do please. Now this do refers to placing an order. Instead of saying, and repeating, yes, please just place the order, I say just do, yes, do please. So do is a substitute for whatever you ask me, right? Again, the word one is quite often used as a substitute. Okay. For instance, all the dresses are nice, but she wants to buy the one which is long. The one refers to the dress. Okay, all the dresses are nice, but she wants to buy the one. One is substituting the dress, right? So I would just give you like 2-3 minutes to think about one example of substitution which doesn't use the word one. Okay, because we had examples yesterday of one, right? So think of the examples which might use the word same and which might use the word either, which may, if it's about the place, it can use the word here and there. So there are a number of words, just not one, which can be used for substitution. So we would just take few examples and then we'll try to move on. Okay, I give you 2-3 minutes. Go to your chat, give good examples, and then we move forward. Okay, so let's move forward and come to coherence. Now, coherence is also related to the formal links, and these are defined as logical connections. Okay, and logical connections between ideas that are presented in the text. Okay, so they have less to do with the structure and the correct use of grammar, and more to do with what actually can happen and can appeal to the human mind. Okay, so that is coherence. As far as coherence is concerned, we would be looking at coherence later on through 3 of its models. Okay, to study coherence, we would be studying some models related to coherence, and those are 3, right? But right now we would be practicing some cohesive devices. But before that, as far as coherence is concerned, if there is coherence in the text, then there is predictability, which is a good characteristic within text. Okay, and the reader is able to predict the reader is able to connect, and the reader is able to know what might happen next, because coherence refers to the logical links. So what is logically possible, you can expect that. So coherence basically increases the predictability and raises the expectations of the author and the listener. Okay. The other thing that coherence does is, um, it it makes the text precise and concise, in a sense that when it determines, or it shows the characteristics of predictability that the reader can predict, then it manages the structures of the text in such a way that the information which is given and there is an information which is new are well connected. The given information is shorter, okay, because by given information, it means the reader or the listener already knows that, and the new information is elaborate, which is of course connected to the given information logically. Okay, so coherence increases the predictability and expectations in a way that it also, beautifies the structure, in a sense that the information uh, in the text is arranged with given information and then newer information. The structure of given information are shorter, and the structure of new information, since it needs a little elaboration, are longer. Now, once the newer information is given, then the same information becomes given. Okay? One information is given which is known to you already, and next it is logically connected to some new information. When the new information is provided, it becomes given information since it is already conveyed, and then it is connected to a newer information, right? Now, how this given and new information are present in any of the texts, we are going to look at that. And in this kind of structure, which consists of, or which is shaped on the basis of given and newer information, they provide coherence to the text. Okay, in all text in English, because we are right now concerned with English language. Otherwise, in all languages, the structure should be similar. First, the information which the reader already knows should be given, and then this information should be connected to the newer information, and then it goes on. We are going to practice it right now, how this newer, given and newer information are actually presented in the text, and how does it appear stylistically. Okay, so let's move to our first exercise. Before that, this is your information structure, given to new. Okay, so we would say that given is S. We would just suggest that it is S. Why is it S? Because I told you that the given structures are short. Let me add few of your class fellows. Okay, guys. So we are talking about the information structure in relation to coherence, and I have already told you that the information structure of any text is based on two kinds of information. One is called as given and the other is called as new, and these are connected logically. The given information can be represented through S, and we are representing it through S because we believe that the given information is short, because no elaboration is needed to decipher the given information, and given information is assumed that the reader already knows. Okay, and then the new information, which we would be indicating with X, uh, would consist of larger structure because you know because that needs an elaboration. Okay, so the text structure would be something like SX and SX and all that, right? The newer information usually consists of nouns, and the given information consists of the pronouns, because in the given information we already know who the person is being referred to. But when a new noun is introduced, then that's newer information for us. Okay. Okay, Nazia is saying she needs to know two kinds of information. Now, Nazia, what we are talking about coherence in the text. Okay. Now, this coherence, of course, is related to the text structure. So, therefore, we would study coherence in terms of information structure that is provided through this part of the text, okay, or through this part of the characteristic, right? So we have talked about cohesion in terms of cohesive devices. So we are talking about coherence in terms of information structure. Both of these are related to the structure, one thing, but two kinds of information that we get, and coherence is responsible to give us that information. Is one is given. Given means known. Okay, now that we would practice a text with the information structure, things would be even clearer to you. But for now, what is important for you to know is that any text, whatever information there is, for the purpose of proper comprehension, consists of two kinds of information. One is given, the other is new, and these are connected. And this kind of structure, given and new, gives coherence to the text, right? Now, what other thing you need to understand is given information is usually small or short, and the new information is elaborate, because for new information you need to have some more details as compared to the given information, because given is assumed that the reader or the listener already knows. For the purpose of convenience, here we are just representing S with the given and X with the newer information. So S are short or small structures, and X are might be the large structures, because if something has already been mentioned, it can be represented economically by short noun phrase. Okay, and usually, and we would be seeing in a short while, that the given information consists of pronouns. Okay, because the nouns are new, and then we use pronouns to refer to the nouns. So the pronouns become the given information and the nouns become the new information. So with new information is, elaborate, new information is detailed, and new information is large, because we want to have more information or new information as much as possible. So noun phrases in new slots tend to be expanded with modification. Right now, there is an example. You would understand it better with an example. As clauses are put together to form text, there is a natural tendency for elements which are new. New we are representing with X, and X we say that those are large, to appear in the following clause as given. Given information is S and therefore small. Now, this is a pronoun, okay? They, right? So, if this sentence follows another sentence and we assume that this is the second sentence, so they is something that is already known, okay, from the previous sentence, or perhaps we know, because no text would start with a pronoun. The noun has to be introduced so that later on it can be replaced by the pronoun, but no text can start with a pronoun when we do not know who is being referred to through the use of the pronoun. Okay, so they looked. Now they is, the given information. At the high glass tower, okay, what did they do is the new information, right? So they is pronouns are usually the given information, and this elaboration is the new information. Looked at the high glass tower. What did they do? They looked at the high glass tower. Now this glass tower becomes given in the very next sentence. It shone in the sun. Now it becomes the given because it refers to the glass tower shown in the sun. Where did it show? It showed in the sun. So this is an elaboration of what it did, or how did it look like, or what did it do. Okay, so this is the new information related to the glass tower, but it refers to the glass tower, so this is the given information. They, we already know there are some people, maybe in the previous sentence, and this is taken from there. So this we already understood who are they, but what did they do is the newer information for us, right? So see the structure. The structure is formed through the given and new information, and then the new information becomes the given information, right? The new information is about the glass tower, and then this glass tower becomes a given information. Now look at the size. When the glass tower is being discussed here, the structure is long. Okay, now this glass tower, when it becomes, and it is replaced with a pronoun, and the information becomes given, it becomes small, it becomes short, right? It's shown in the sun. Now that becomes long. Okay, so this is the structure. Here newer information is starting with a preposition, not with a noun. Newer information with the no, you got it wrong. A newer information with a noun is one of the kinds of the newer information. Okay, it is not specified, or there is no rule with what the newer information would be introduced. Okay, newer information has to be connected with the given information for the purpose of coherence. There has to be a logical connection. Okay, they looked, whatever they looked at, right? There is no strict grammatical rule. Please be clear about it. I was just giving you an example, and the text that we are about to practice is only related to given and new in the form of nouns and pronouns. But this is not necessary that the newer information would have nouns. Okay, it might have nouns, but of course, when we say that those are longer structures or larger structures or detailed structures, so that means there might not just be one noun. Okay, it has a noun. It has a noun like glass tower. Um, there's a proper noun also, but the starting of the newer information does not necessarily start with a noun. Okay, about Eamon's question, newer information always appears by the end of the sentence. No, and not exactly, because we are looking at isolated sentences. If the text continues, then this is just not the end of the text. But as far as the sentence is concerned, of course, the sentence structure is given and new. Okay, and it can be new and given also. For instance, now this seems to be taken from an extract. Otherwise, if we get hold of the proper text, of course they are mentioned first, so it would be new given and new given, like that. Okay, so the sequence basically, they alternate each other, given then new and given and new. So probably this text, had it been a proper text, it would have started with new information. Okay, so okay, as far as your sentence, your question is concerned, would it always end with the new information? Yes. Why? Because the next sentence would start with the given information. Okay, but the first thing in the text, if it is a proper text, it would start with something that you do not know about, right?